Hello, hello. Welcome to today's podcast. Yes. I'm just sitting here on a random Tuesday, enjoying my morning without really a care in the world. I'm just sipping my coffee. And even though it's foggy outside, I'm still enjoying the stillness and just being. I don't really have anywhere to go or anything to do right now. And so today I'm just realizing how far I've come from operating so long in performance and burnout, forcing myself, proving, performing, showing that I was capable and 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 every time I just remember how long it took me to get here and all the things I have been through and overcome. And so sitting here today talking to you without a to-do list, without a schedule, until I go to work, it feels really good and it feels amazing. I feel at peace. I don't have to keep going. I have the energy. I'm getting the energy. Sometimes it just takes a step back with intention. Doing this is not for the faint of heart. It's not easy. I didn't get here overnight. This has never been easy for me. But I started intentionally implementing this because it was a dream of mine to finally find the permission slip that I needed to not do a dang thing, to get rid of the notion and belief that I'm lazy and less than. I'm not doing enough. I'm not productive. But this is where I find I get the most creativity. I get recharged. I get revived. And our bodies are not robots. We were not designed to go, 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 and do, do, do. We were designed to do what we need to do and then rest. That's what our bodies are designed for. But somewhere along the lines, there's people that make it look like work your effing face off, work, work till you collapse. Put your head down, and in 30 days, you're going to look up and you're going to be richer. Yeah, that's a far-fetched BS notion. That's a recipe for burnout and exhaustion in a very short amount of time. That's what, 4.5 weeks? Yeah, good luck. What you chase runs from you. Think about that for a moment. So, what are you chasing today? For the longest time growing up in foster care, I was never given a chance to dream. I was never allowed to have a vision for my life. I was never allowed to rest. I had to be on all the time. And even though, I did my best to rest, it wasn't rest. I was on high alert. So over time, my body took a toll. Lots of turmoil, lots of havoc, things that I've lost, parts of myself, parts of my health, parts of my life I can't ever get back. But I've started doing like breaking the curse, breaking the generational curses of this thing that has tried to run me down into a pit. And it's the constant need to keep going. It's the constant need to not break away. It's the constant need to be validated, seen. And let's not talk about, right, the real things out there. Like, what about jobs? What about working in a career? Did you ever realize that the career you're in, it has the mindset, mentality, adapt. People have to adapt immediately or you get canceled out, aka fired, meaning they expect you to be on all the time. They expect you to come in sick They penalize us for being adults when we need to take time off to recuperate and get well. They don't allow us to make decisions. A lot of jobs expect us to fill the status quo, fill the quota, get our hours in. Oh, you can go to that as long as you get your 8 hours in. You got to make up the time you missed, as if making up time is really a benefit. Who the hell does it benefit? there's no there's no such thing as making up for lost time. You can try. It's like it's it's just doesn't add any peace or stillness to our day. I'm reminded of every career, every job that I've had has been met with just settling and being so exhausted. I've made myself sick, not on purpose, but lots of illnesses have crept in, stress. We are we are programmed to turn into robots in places. Yesterday I was going to talk about dreams and visions, and then I got sidetracked. I had a meeting, and then I had to go to work, and but my day went really well. And even though I didn't get to come on yesterday and do a podcast, today the topics are still about having that vision and dream. So, what vision do you have today for your life so that your life is not run down by quotas and meetings and phone calls and not spending time with your family, not taking time off, afraid of missing work because missed work means missed pay? And what about days off to where's the vision about health, about life and your dreams? Have like do visions and dreams still work for those of us who are the high performers, high achievers, business owners, career professionals, visionaries? That is who I'm speaking to today. Yes, because there are people that will land on my podcast and think it doesn't apply to them, and that's okay because I'm not speaking to them. Now, can what I'm about to say help everyone who listens? Abso-freaking-lutely. Now, I'm not going to tell you here's 5 ways to not operate in burnout. I don't operate that way. Strategy, I can give some, but I'm not a strategist. That puts me in performance, and I won't go there. In fact, anyone who leads me in that path to start giving strategy, I will let them know it ruins my energy. So I provide stories. I provide examples for you, real life examples, because that is the experience. I'm not going to share with you things that I haven't done in my life that don't work. They will work when you apply them how they work for you. And when you listen to this, just know I've been there. I have been in the same similar moments, experiences. I have I have the t-shirts, I've got the diplomas, right? I do have 2 diplomas. I have a high school diploma and a business college diploma. Business college, I had to pay off the student debt, which I did. Um, yeah, all of my student debt is paid off. Amen. Took a long time. That's a whole nother podcast, though. I will not ever tell anyone to go to college, especially if you don't know what you're going to be doing. There's a lot of people out there selling a good game, talking a good game. Go to school because it's going to help you get a better job. It's going to help you go farther. No, it's not. Not necessarily. You know what's interesting? Okay. I was looking at jobs, right? I'm doing a research project. I'm looking at jobs to see how many tasks, number one, they pile on in the job description. Okay. Now, if it looks like a lot, I'm like, this looks like you are going to overwhelm and run your person into the ground with piling on all these tasks. So what is your team doing to make sure they're not getting burnt out and run into the ground? So if I go for a job, my number one thing that I'm going for is, can I coach a team? Can I be the professional hype girl? Can I give these tasks and delegate tasks that don't work for me, that I'm not aligned with, to somebody else who is aligned to do these? Because I'm not going to burn myself out performing for a job that could possibly let me go if I'm not meeting their quota or expectations. So I look at a few things. I look at the pay. I then look at all they're expecting people to do for the amount of pay, and I'm like, it's not worth it. It's not worth my energy, my peace. It's not worth my time. And then it reminds me of jobs I've taken where I never paid attention to the key words that are red flags, like time management, must multitask, and must be available all the time. Or, yeah, micromanage a team. Like, who the hell, if that is in a job, like, no joke. I once had an interview where I was told that I would have to micromanage a team. And I thought, you are already, not only are you setting me up to fail with those keywords that you're sharing to burn me the heck out, but now you want me to spend my time micromanaging grown adults. What happened to being a leader, a team leader? A team leader doesn't micromanage in the sense that they wanted me to micromanage. And it's like, oh boy, the culture here is not what I expected. So I never took that position because I already knew from experience it would burn me out, and it didn't go in line with my vision. And I don't have a dream of being a burned out employee anywhere. And I almost didn't come on today and share this, but I know that what I am sharing will definitely help. And if I can give you some things to walk away with today, here they are. So you can come back, you can write these down. This is at the 13-minute and 10-second mark from there. So, number one, what is the vision you have for your life, for your health, for your career, for your family, for your marriage? What is that vision? Number two, what are the things you absolutely do not want? Yes, write that down. Then it's going to help you know what you do want, right? Number three, if you could have the perfect career, perfect day, perfect, like, we'll say job, right? What would that look like for you? I want you to dream into this. It's all going to come together. Like, if you could have the perfect life, what would that look like for you? How would you spend your mornings? What would your afternoons look like? What would your day look like? What kind of job do you want? Right? And if you are an entrepreneur, business owner, then how do you want your business to go every single day? And what are you operating in currently? What kind of energy are you operating in every single day? Is it leading with lack, burnout, chasing? Oh my gosh, if I don't get this account, then I'm not going to get paid. And oh my gosh, oh my goodness. Or would you rather start off with an energetic reset, setting your day with intentions, having a vision, sipping your coffee or your morning drink versus gulping and rushing. If you thought about this for your life, what is the vision you have for your life? And lastly, what things have you allowed to take the place of what you want to do in your life? What things have you settled for? This includes friends. This includes how you treat your body. This includes things you listen to, things you watch. I am appalled at what some grown ass people watch, listen to, and read. And I'm thinking, well, no wonder you're a grumpy, depressed individual. Look at what you're freaking watching and the conversations you're having. Not very uplifting or, sword sharpening, iron sharpening. Not, no, that's not going to help. Who you have in your circle matters. Who you have around you matters. And then I really want you to dream into this last one. If I were to hand you a permission slip today based on what I've shared, what would it say? Just get very creative. And then it could look like this. It could be like this. Write it down on a piece of paper. I fill in your name, give myself permission to get very creative, run with it, brainstorm. Nobody's going to grade it. And when you look back at your paper, it's going to be a clue as to where you need a reset. It's going to be a clue as to what you truly want and what you've given up. One of the most heartbreaking things, and I use my words carefully and very, I empathize, but it saddens me to the core. When I hear and see people compromise themselves for a career that they can't stand, they talk about it in a way that has robbed them of their dreams, of their life, of their goals, of their energy. And I watch people, not to stare, not to, I observe. I'm like an observant bird. And I see how people are, and I see what happens in a career, right? We get sold this huge package of BS, right? 401k, all the benefits, all the perks, but it clouds the real view of what is lurking for us behind the shadows. And in every environment that we have settled to be in, if we don't have a clear vision, viewpoint, puzzle piece of what we truly want for our lives, we will keep selling our soul for a freaking paycheck. We will go to a job, any environment that robs us of our joy. I don't see joy on faces of people when I walk in. Even in the current career that I have, I don't see a lot of joy. I see some joy, but I don't know how genuine that is. And a lot of people that I look at and I have conversations with, it's the same common topics. They have burnout. The only vision that they have is taking time off. Like there's no long-term vision. Comfort has settled in. Complacency has settled in. It's not a bad thing, but at some point you got to find yourself again. That's where I come in. I am currently creating something fantastic behind the scenes, so I don't really have anything to offer here today, but just know that I am in the process of creating something, and I have found some amazing people that can help me get my stuff out there so that I can start partnering with people to bring them the reset that they need for their life, that they're looking for. And there is something I actually have been working on. It's called Energetic Reset. I don't know if that's the name that it's going to be, but it's more like we'll call it a club, a movement, membership, excuse me, something along those lines. But I am currently in the process of creating something. But I do ask you to please follow the show. Click follow. If you've been listening to me for a long time, whether that's on YouTube, click the subscribe button. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to tell me. Like, I go back and I respond. I'm not going to ignore you, right? Also, if it's on Spotify, click follow. If you're listening to me on Apple or every other podcast platform, which names I can't think of, click the follow button. That's all I ask. Because then you'll be notified when I do new shows, do new episodes. And I absolutely love having a studio because it is where I come alive. And when I come alive, guess what happens? You come alive. And today is your day on a random Tuesday. And if this is your first time coming across my platform, welcome. And I'm going to tell you, on a random Tuesday, you came across some chick talking about something that nobody's talking about. I don't hear anybody talking about this in a manner the way that I do. This is why I brag. I've had people tell me that one of the reasons that my podcast, they believe, is taking off is because that I do share my story and also because my voice is very soothing. You want to know something kind of funny? I work my 3-decade career has been in the medical field. Now, that is a place where a lot of people don't have a soothing voice. But in an emergency, I don't know what it is, my quick start nature, which is my instinctive nature that God wired in me, not my personality in the womb, it literally kicks in. I can't help it, but in any emergency, I think quickly, but I'm even keeled. Keeled, okay? Because I know that could be probably like, you mean to tell me? No, I don't. I'm not even killed. It's keeled, like peeled. And so I'm able to think quickly, sharply, and respond instead of react. My reaction time is how it needs to be, but I'm able to lead effectively and not make mistakes. I can't explain it, but I used to work in the emergency room and as a admitting person, and when we would get traumas, I honestly I can brag and say that mistakes were not ever made during traumas because I was able to function in my instinctive nature. And I stopped fighting against that and stopped rejecting that part of myself because that's how I'm freaking wired. And when I hear of people making mistakes, I'm like, how the hell are people making mistakes? Because it doesn't make sense to me. Because in medical world, emergency room land, you can't make mistakes. There's no room for errors. Period. Like I get it, but in an emergency situation, trauma, you don't have time to make mistakes because mistakes cost. They cost energy, they cost time, they also cost delays in patient care. So that's why it's like, come on, folks, this is a trauma. Take a breath, slow down your thinking, work with people, okay? And don't make the mistake. Do your absolute best and don't worry about getting in trouble because that's the least of your worries. Right now, you got to focus on what's in front of you. And so the vision that you have for your life will also allow you to focus on what's in front of you. The dream you have for your life, the permission slip you give yourself will help you focus on what's in front of you. And you no longer will be tied to fearing what other people might think, thinking that your life has to look a certain way to keep up with the Joneses, the picture perfect life and blah, blah. But what if you just switched up one thing in your life to eliminate the busyness and the craziness? What if you switched up your morning routine? What if your day started differently? What if you switched up having boundaries? There's a lot of folks I know that don't have boundaries. It's kind of sad, actually. I'm going to be honest. Without boundaries, we suffer. We do. And those around us, if we don't have boundaries, the person who suffers the most is you. I know, because I used to not have boundaries. But I also have the experience where people have literally gone out of their way to be angry and pissed off because I had boundaries. Oh, yeah. Turn into manipulative people that were very unhappy because I set boundaries with them. They didn't like it. And a lot of people would manipulate me and use my church background, or they would take what I said literally. And it's like, well, okay, so now I happily set boundaries and I let people know, hey, I don't need to know what your information you're about to tell me about that person because I don't need to know that. But for people to openly share stuff about other people, like I have a vision, is I have boundaries in my life to protect my peace and the integrity. So I keep integrity. But those who or those who start openly sharing information, I now lose trust immediately, and I know not to share shit with you because people need to know, hey, it's easy to talk trash. What's not easy is to keep our mouths zipped. But that's a vision I have for my life too. So thank you so much for listening today. And, you know, I would, I encourage you to go back and listen and take notes so that you can see this and take action and implement at least one thing you've heard today, if nothing else. What is something you're walking away with today? And hey, don't forget to click follow or subscribe for this show for more of this. All right, thank you so much for being here, and that concludes today's episode.